Hey, beautiful, wonderful people, a pleasant evening to everybody. It is with sadness, that we support and we offer our condolences to the great, the gifted, the talented, the esteemed, the venerable Usain, sorry, I was thinking of Toussaint, Usain St. Leo Bolt and his family at this time, with the passing of his father, who almost made it to 70. He was right at the cusp of 70 years of age. He was 68, and I think when I read the newspaper online, it mentioned that he may have been ailing for a little bit. And it is an unfortunate situation, because I can recall, I know that a lot of the greatness, his feat and the achievement is owed to his father, his earthly father. I remember when the father was being interviewed, he said that he saw quite a number of great athletes coming from Jamaica, and they just didn't matriculate. They somehow did not go over the moon. Neither did they go over the stars. I'm putting in these words, obviously. And he said he did not want that for his son. He said, no, I don't want my son to fall by the wayside. I guess in totality, he's saying that I know my son is gifted. My son has a lot to offer the world. I probably think that Mr. Bolt didn't even know how far reaching, his gift and his talent would have gone. That I even hear some people comparing him to the great Bob Marley. That some people even consider him to be a national hero. I'm one of them, for more reasons than one. And I'm sure that this loss is with a deep sadness and deep pain to Usain and his family at this time, because if it were not for the assistance of his father, he would not be the great Usain Bolt that he is today. I certainly want to extend my condolences to you, Usain. You are a fantastic human being. I am a big supporter from the days you had entered. I didn't know your name, but the first time I saw you and they had you in that cape when you had entered the World Junior Championship, I would just be a few years above you. And when you had entered that, and I said, what a fantastic little young fellow, in the cape, because I don't know if, because I'm a Marvel movie girl. I love Marvel movies. So when I see something that, is mirroring the kind of movies, some of the kind of movies that I like, it just felt good. And it felt good to see a Jamaican athlete doing this well, this gifted. And you remember, you had not even begun to do. We didn't even know that you would have done what you did from 2008 to about 2016, thereabout. From about 2008, and I know 2008 may have been the most spectacular year for you, because the year prior you came back on the scene, for the regular adult World Championships, and came second to Tyson Gay. And from then on, is like you said, no more seconds, first only, and not just first, some record-breaking times. You probably didn't even know that you would have been able to do that. You got some divine intervention help, definitely. And when you think about all of that, all the feat, all of what you've accomplished that no man has ever accomplished, I don't think people, sometimes when I want a little inspiration, I go back on all of your races. Even sometimes I go on the heats, the semis, and then the finals. And I watch it from the beginning, just to say that where there is a will, there is a way. But with God, nothing is or ever impossible to do. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And you give me that hope and that inspiration. So this is a sincere, a devoted fan of yours, Usain Bolt. And I'm sure it is extremely difficult and painful at this time, because of what your father has done for you. And I know you and the family will send him home in fine style. And I don't know what you are going through, but God knows. And I know that as the day, as the hour, as the minute, as the second goes by, it will get a little bit easier and manageable for you. But you will forever remember your dad in your heart, because I'm sure he was a good father, the best father that he could have been. This man contributed to you being the great Usain Bolt that you are. I don't think you understand what a fantastic human being you are, fellow. You are like, I consider you my best friend from afar. In other words, because, when, let me share something with you. If you should ever get this post. When Jesus was calling his disciples, one in particular that, they talk about the main characters like the Judases, the Peter, and Matthew, because of what they may have represented. Matthew was in the kind of thief. He was a tax collector, all crook. But God saw that in the kind of state about it's just the systems, the world systems. But he really wasn't evil. He wasn't malevolent at heart. The same with Peter. Peter did have a bad temper. Him a bad man. But him had clean, he meant well as a married man. And, Philip, he talked about Philip and Nathaniel, that their hearts were clean. These were non-Christians. They weren't Christian people, they weren't men of God. Them probably never did take up a scroll, before the Bible would have been full and completed and read. Them man, they just chip somebody and go on bad. But yet God was able to use his bionic eyes, and see in their hearts and realize that these were clean-hearted men. And I consider you a clean-hearted, pure soul. Wonderful man. Forever fan. And they say, you get up and say you're going to start worship Lucifer, the devil. Then me say, oh my God, I have to go in some fasting and prayer for you. I say, God, you're going to pull him out of that them Harry Clay there. Be still not going to dislike him. I dislike what you would do. And God forbid, I don't think you would go into something as evil and sinister and malevolent as that. But you're a blessed soul. You're a fantastic human being. And I know that you attributed and you continue to attribute a lot of your accomplishments to your dad. I remember when you said that you came back on the scene after you had taken a break after the World Juniors and so on. You're a young man coming up, and you said you had this loan that you just wanted to get some funds to see if you could pay off. You can give loans. You can probably open a bank yourself and give loans to people. Oh, how I wish I could just support you and be a part of the funeral and sing. I would do a great job. But I know you're going to get your people. I would really certainly give a good rendition. As you send your dad on home to glory. Once he has made his calling and election sure with Christ Jesus. But no one but you and your family can understand the pain that you feel at this time. And it is a road that we have to all trod at some point in our lives. And we have to ensure that our soul is so right with God. Because we don't want to transition this evil and wicked, challenging world into worse mayhem. Can you imagine? We go through the rigors, no matter if you're rich or you're poor, you're in between. The difficulties of this life, the hardships of this life. To go back into more mayhem? Hell? Absolutely not. But you're saying you will be able to, you'll pull through. You and your family will pull through. Your mother, your siblings, yourself, your family, your beautiful family, your lovely children. And as you continue your journey as a philanthropist, as the greatest athlete thus far, a wonderful human being, know that God is with you. Your family, they are with you. Your friends, they are with you. So you're not going to go through this by yourself. Blessings on you, my friend. And may God bless you. Guys, you know what to do with TikTok and YouTube. Subscribe. Give me one of those lions. Have a good one.